7:07 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, so apparently Donald Trump, Joan,
yes,
was asked about deporting Elon Musk, and Trump apparently said that he'd have to take a look.
No, stop.
That's what people are saying on the internet, so it must be true.
Of course.
Now, if you are unaware of the immense amount of drama this morning, we've been talking about it. I think we have not discussed it much in the last hour or so. But Donald Trump, as he is prone to do, as he is apt to do, overnight he was posting on Truth Social. And one of the things that he did, he went after Elon Musk, and he went after Elon Musk big time. And, Joan, I think he took it down.
No, yeah?
Hold on. He took it down. Either that or he's been going an awful lot. Jeez, Louise. Hold on. Here it is. No, he did not take it down. He's just been very active today. My apologies. So this is what Donald Trump said about Elon Musk. And Elon, of course, saying if the big, beautiful bill passes, he's going to start another political party. And that would, what I believe it would do, if it's like an independent party, is he would split the conservative vote. That's bad for us and good for the Democrats. Donald Trump posted this about midnight last night. Elon Musk knew long before he so strongly endorsed me for president that I was strongly against the EV mandate. It is ridiculous and always a major part of my campaign. Electric cars are fine, but not everyone should be forced to own one. Elon may get more subsidy than any human being in history by far, and without subsidies, Elon would probably have to close up shop, head back to South Africa, no more rocket launches, no more satellites, no more electric car production. The president saying in our country would save a fortune. Perhaps we should have Doge take a good, hard look at all this. Big money to be saved. So Trump, basically, he is threatening Elon Musk. He's threatening Elon Musk, and I don't think he's going to, I just stop at the whole deportation thing. That's just dumb. But, I can see if Donald Trump, if he gets, his mind in a certain space, then he'll do whatever he needs to do to, cut Elon Musk down a peg or two. And it sounds like he wants to turn Doge onto Elon Musk. Here's the deal, though. Can I just tell you, this is where some people are going to get mad at me. Elon Musk saved those astronauts. And if it wasn't for Elon Musk, those poor astronauts, Butch Wilmore, of course, he's from Mount Juliet, they might still be up there. So I just think that these two need to go to their damn corners and chill out. And I don't know if Donald Trump actually did say we'll have to wait and see, and if he was laughing about it when he said that he'll have to take a look at deporting Elon Musk, because I think that's just dumb. That is just dumb. But we'll have to see where it goes, because CNN was opening with this. As a matter of fact, it's 7-Eleven. Breaking news, Trump threatens Doge probe of subsidies for Musk's companies. So, I think these threats are real. I think, and I said this before, I think Donald Trump is over the drama. I think he is over the drama, and I think that he is ready to move on. And if he's got Elon Musk, chirping at him every time he's trying to do something, he just doesn't want to deal with that anymore. But I don't think that they should be talking about deporting Elon Musk. That idiot out of New York, absolutely. I'm just kidding. Andy Ogles, by the way, did you see this?
Why do you have to be kidding about that? Come on.
I know. I'm actually really not kidding.
Good.
I have a segment on that. You want me to go ahead and do the segment on that now?
Yeah.
The mayor,
Do you have time?
the mayor hopeful of mayoral hopeful of New York. Let me see if I can find. That's not where I was going to go today. But okay, Zoran Mandami. The controversy continues here. So we know everything that he wants to do. Caroline Levitt, by the way, was asked about this, and this is what Caroline Leavitt had to say about Mamdani. And here it is. Listen.
Does President Trump want Zoran Mamdani deported?
I haven't heard him say that. I haven't heard him call for that. But certainly he does not want this individual to be elected. I was just speaking to him about it and his radical policies that will completely crush New York City, which is obviously a city that the president holds near and dear to his heart.
Yeah, I've always wondered, and Joan, do you have any opinion on this? Why do people in New York hate Donald Trump so much? Because he literally built that city. I mean, helped build it.
Well, maybe they're upset that he left.
He left because they hated him.
Yeah.
So
I'll give you one letter Y.
R.
Correct.
All right.
Boom. I'm glad we were on the same page there. I'm glad you get it.
Same page, great minds. $65 million for transgender services is what Mamdani wants to do. He wants fast and free buses for folks. I mean, we know all the stuff that he wants to do. I've been talking about it ad nauseum. So one of the things that they talk about is the reason why Andy Ogles wants to deport him. And it has to do with his rap lyrics. Listen.
There's this Congressman, Andy Ogles. He wants the Attorney General Bondi to explore denaturalization proceedings because he thinks Mamdani could have misrepresented or concealed material support for terrorism based on rap lyrics he wrote in 2017. Does President Trump think this is a worthwhile use of the Attorney General's time?
Now, when I first heard that Congressman Andy Ogles was going to talk about denaturalizing him and deporting him, I'm going to admit there was a little bit of an eye roll, but Ogles might be onto something. Have you heard the justification, Joan, the actual justification for deporting this guy?
No.
It's actually really interesting. So here's what happens is when you are going through the naturalization process, you have to fill out a form, and it's a form called the N-400. On this form, you have to acknowledge that you have some sort of a support or a relationship or whatever with foreign enemies or terrorists or whatever. And so he filled out that form in 2018. The timeline is important. In 2018, he filled out that form, that N-400. It would appear that he lied on that form.
Oh.
The rest of the story coming up after traffic on WTN. Weather today, a high of 88 and possible thunderstorms. And so Andy Ogles, he posted this to his social media. He says, if this communist, anti-Semitic, jihadist loves the third world so much, to the point he would lie about it to immigration officers, we can arrange for his speedy delivery back to Uganda. And so I thought it was interesting how you have Ogles, and a lot of people eye-rolled on this. Again, I will admit that I eye-rolled on it at first. But if you go down the road, he did lie, it seems, on his N-400 form, which makes him eligible to be booted from the country, going through denaturalization processes, it would appear. When someone, again, becomes a citizen, they have to disclose any support for a terrorist organization. That is apparently actually on the form. So he wrote some rap lyrics, Joan. We played yesterday the little song that he did. Well, he wrote some rap lyrics that were actually clearly supportive of people that were supportive of Hamas.
Oh.
Andy Ogles spoke about this. He was on Newsmax last night. Listen.
Part of the process when you fill out the naturalization forms, which, here's a copy of one here, is you've got to disclose your activities. So like communism, anti-American activities. And so in 2018, when he was naturalized, he failed to disclose some of the things that he had been doing, one of which was joining the Democrat Socialists of America. That's a communist organization, which, quite frankly, at that time would have disqualified him from becoming a United States citizen. So what we're encouraging to do is the Justice Department to look into the timing of his joining that organization. It would have been anti-American. It would have fit the definition of what he would have been required to disclose, and quite frankly, would have made him most likely ineligible to become a naturalized citizen.
I think real quick, I'm going to get back to that story, but Trump is speaking outside of the White House. Can you or Joan, a KGB or Joan, can somebody bring that up? It's on CNN right now. Donald Trump is speaking.
I have it right here.
Pull it up.
Yep.
Crazy. Elon Musk. Who? What happened to Elon Musk? Nothing. He's upset that he's losing his EV mandate, and he's very upset about things, but he could lose a lot more than that. I can tell you right now. Hey, Elon can lose a lot more than that. We hope it's going to happen, and we're looking forward to happen sometime next week. We want to get our hostages out. We want to get the hostages out.
What if the big beautiful bill doesn't pass? You have to go through item by item by item and pass this stuff one at a time, or you can just try again?
I think we're going to get there. It's tough. We're trying to break it down so it's really good for the country. Trying to get a lot for everybody, and it's a big bill. And smaller bills would have been easy, but they wouldn't have been as good. I think it's going to do okay.
And when the alligator Alpha says, it's the idea that if some illegal immigrants escape, they just get eaten by an alligator or a snake or something?
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If snakes are fast, but alligators are, but we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison. How to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%. Okay? It's not a good thing.
What are you going to talk to Netanyahu about next Monday?
Well, he's coming here. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about the great success we had. I mean, we had an incredible, in Iran, we had an incredible success. Like really nobody's had in many, many years. That was a precision war strike, and the word obliteration can now be used because the Atomic Energy Commission said you can't even get into the place. It was demolished. It was really demolished. It was a great, brilliant strike, and how to go forward. We're also going to talk about Gaza. We want to get the rest. We got a lot of hostages back, but we're going to talk about Gaza. I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible?
Oh, Lord.
Please
It's
stop.
a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up, So I'm going to give that one to Peter. I'm going to let Peter test it out. The hydrogen cars, and when they blow up, it's serious. They find you 5 blocks away. It's that good.
President, how are the trade talks going? Are there any countries we can expect to see before the July 9th deadline?
Everything's going well. Honestly, everything. This is very complicated because it's very big, a lot of different areas. Look, the Republicans have their heart in it. The Democrats they just want to destroy our country. A Democrat wants to destroy the country. They won't vote on it. They don't vote on anything. This is the biggest tax cut in history. Everything is the biggest in history. It's the best bill we've ever had. We can't get one Democrat vote.
When do you think you'll get final? When do you think you'll get final?
Nice guy, Peter. What do you think?
Very nice guy. When do you think you'll get final passage of the bill?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully today, if we can. Final passage. When I say final is let's take Senate at a time, okay? But I think Senate could be today, and we go over to the House.
And what about Senator Murkowski? Is there any way to placate her?
Who knows? You tell me. You tell me. Is there? Alaska's done so well with me. There's never been a president better to Alaska than me. But it doesn't mean people appreciate it. Have a good time.
Is that it?
Yep, he's walking away. Yeah, they're still shouting questions, but he's.
All right.
It looks like it's over.
So I learned a couple of things
What'd you learn?
from that. I think that Donald Trump and Elon Musk, I think that Donald Trump, that was clearly a message for Elon Musk, number one. And that jives with what I was talking about earlier with what he posted on True Social. So we'll have to see if Elon responds to that. So that's number one. I learned that Trump and Elon, that is broken. And I don't want Trump to go down this road. I really don't.
Right.
Because I think we need Elon Musk.
We do. We do need Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But that appears to be irretrievably broken.
The other thing I learned is that if you are running away from an alligator, you've got to do it in
side
zigzaggy.
by side. Yeah.
He said like this, which is great on the radio, but zigzag.
Yeah.
That's what the president said.
And it increases your chances of survival by 1%.
Fake news.
You think it's more?
No.
You don't?
That's not true.
Oh.
I looked at howstuffworks.com.
Oh, okay.
I spent all this time, like when he was talking,
Yeah.
like looking up, is it better to run away from an alligator zigzaggy or straight and all this? Well, here's what they say. The truth is, although alligators are frighteningly quick, they're not cheetah fast, and they don't like to run long distances. They do say that the average human could easily outrun an alligator, zigzagging or not. It tops out at a speed of about 9.5 miles per hour, and it cannot maintain that speed for very long. So you don't have to, go zigzaggy to outrun the alligator. You just got to run in a straight line, just faster than the alligator. So there you go. I guess we're done. It is.
You know what? I'm watching the most amazing thing that's happening right now. There's a woman who's leading police in Nashville on a 5-mile-per-hour chase, and they've been leading this chase for hours. Right now, they're on I-24. I just learned that it's close to Nashville. But they're not saying exactly where. But what happened was she was pulled. The police saw her early this morning sleeping behind the wheel of the car. So they knock on the window. They try to wake her up. She rams her car, this car that she, by the way, has stolen, into the police officers' cars and takes off. So they deploy spike strips. And the car now has absolutely there's no tread on the tires. She's rolling on the bare metal wheels.
And she's on I-24?
She's on I-24 going about 5 miles an hour. They're trying just to get her to pull over or wait till the car runs out of gas. And it's been going on for hours. She's got multiple warrants out for her arrest.
Oh, she's going to have a few more.
Oh, yeah, I think so. And she's still going, and she's weaving all over the roadway.
Okay.
So, be aware that she's out there right now. They're out there with her on I-24 westbound, close to Nashville. And this just keeps on going and going and going. Now, she's got a lot of police officers around her, and there's now some TDOT vehicles behind her.
Yeah.
Telling everyone to get over to the side if you want to get around her. But,
okay.
Yeah, that's what's happening. And I was watching it in real time. Just, wow.
Okay, very good. It is 7:25, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Let's go ahead and forego the news tease because we're now running a little late, but along with probably people driving into town on I-24 because of that lady. So you want to play the promo, then I'll do the live spot? Is that what we're going to do? I'm just going to, okay, Jesus. KGB's freaking out. Usually don't freak out this much. I'll read the live commercial.
Usually he's sleeping by this time, so.
He is. It's almost like he's awake. It's like very odd to see KGB actually awake at 7:26.
Give me an aneurysm, man. Just go.
All right. Specialty Coatings. Dan Mandis here. Listen, if you're a business owner and your concrete floors need some help, Specialty Coatings, they can help you. Now, if you think about your floor at your business and it's a mess, well, that is a reflection of your business. Specialty Coatings, they can help you. They specialize in concrete floor coatings and polished concrete. They've been doing it for 30 years. You've probably walked on some of their incredible concrete flooring, and they've done some of the major sports stadiums in town. They've done the arenas and the convention centers as well. Just last year, Specialty Coatings in Nashville installed over 1 million square feet of coatings for businesses across Tennessee. Now, those buildings include manufacturing, warehouses, airplane hangars, retail, and a lot more. Specialty Coatings isn't some fly-by-night company, no. They've got the equipment and the skilled installers to do the job right. It's going to be done on time and on budget. Look, no matter how bad your floors look, Specialty Coatings, they can fix it. And each project is customized to your building and your needs. Call them 615-591-9491, 615-591-9491. Email them, sales@specialtycoat.com. The website, specialtycoat.com. 7:39, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I want to welcome on into the program Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan, always great to have you on. We had some breaking news here, and so we had to get to that. Now we're getting to you, and there's a lot going on today. I don't know. Are you, Jonathan, I've got to ask, are you as interested in this alligator Alcatraz as I am? Because I think this is really interesting.
I don't know if it's equivalent, but yeah, very interesting. And I think it's a very, in many ways, a good idea and a good use of resources to do this.
One of the things I find fascinating is that the left, their heads are exploding over this ice facility in the middle of the Everglades. And Donald Trump said something where they just did an interview with him outside of Air Force One. Was he joking about somebody's leg getting chomped off?
He was talking about, They were asking about, why this was so interesting to him being in this area. And he was just joking about, hey, if somebody tried to escape, their leg would get chomped off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Was he really joking? I'm just kidding. So anyway, it's really interesting. And I think, there's on CNN right now, they just had a poll and it shows, they had a picture of H.W. Bush, W. Bush, and Donald Trump. And they're talking about Republican presidents and how they connected with, the overall GOP electorate. And it definitely showed that of those presidents, Donald Trump was the most popular when it came to connecting with GOP priorities. And I mean, George H.W., he was down around, 45, 50% within the GOP. W. Bush was a little bit higher, but Trump was in like the 60s, 63, 65%. And it was really high compared to the previous Republican presidents. I think a lot of that, Jonathan Fahey, more than likely is based on illegal immigration.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it is very funny how easily the left just gets their buttons pushed by him. I mean, it must be just so entertaining to be Donald Trump that he could say one thing and they go apoplectic over all these just things. But the funny thing is, I think you're absolutely right. Immigration has been one of these like secret sleeper issues for so long before Donald Trump hit the scene that Republicans were terrified to talk about it because they were always in this role of we need to expand our base and don't want to offend anyone. And we're like sort of this semi-woke party trying to be like Democrat light on the issue. And I think so many people saw the problem, saw it in their own communities with, things like schools and healthcare and wages and other things that were truly affecting their communities. And he actually talked about it and he was honest about it. And the other thing that's interesting, when people criticize Donald Trump and even people on the left, if you really sit them down, whether or not, if they can, calm down or take a sedative, they don't really disagree with most of his policies. Even people on the left don't want their kids going to an overcrowded school, and they want if somebody in their community, in their family gets sick, they want them to be able to see a doctor and not have to wait in line because all of these people came here illegally and they want to earn money and be able to save money. So all of these, if you really sit down with them on these issues like crime, immigration and stuff, most people really do agree with them. And he has been tapping into these issues. And it really is like Donald Trump rarely gets the credit for policy. Everyone on the left just says, cult of personality. People like him because he says these things or his personality, but it really is policy. And it's not just talking about him. He actually implements or attempts to implement everything he campaigned on, And, he's been quite successful with most of it. And even the things he hasn't been, he at least gives a very good faith attempt to do.
One of the things, and I'm going to ask you about this coming back, one of the things that I love that Trump is doing, the headline, Trump goes to war against Sanctuary City, Los Angeles, with a major lawsuit. This follows lawsuits against other sanctuary cities. Going to talk about that after we check the roads on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you very much. As far as your weather goes for today, 88 possible thunderstorms as well. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. So these lawsuits that the Trump administration, they are filing against these, major sanctuary cities, it makes a lot of sense. I totally get why he's doing it, because these cities, in effect, they're trying to prevent ICE from doing their job. What do you think the end result is going to be, you being an attorney?
A couple of things. I think these actual lawsuits, they're civil lawsuits, have a lot of merit to them because under the Supremacy Clause, when, as you know, when state law conflicts with federal law is supreme. That's the Supremacy Clause, and that keeps the union together, because if you don't have that, then every state can have their own immigration law, their own tax law, their own anything, and then you don't really have a country. So it really makes sense to do this on the civil side, and they will, I think, prevail on these when these sanctuary cities have enacted ordinances that conflict or obstruct immigration enforcement. But the second part's even better, because in the process of civil lawsuits, you have what's called discovery, where you get information from the other side, such as emails, communications. You have a chance to depose people under oath, and they're going to end up finding a lot of, I think, criminal liability with these sanctuary cities, because under the Alien Harboring Act, if you're doing something to hide, to shield, to harbor illegal aliens from being detected by ICE, or being caught by ICE, which is exactly the whole purpose of these sanctuary city policies, that's a federal felony. So I think they're going to end up finding a lot of evidence that could prove that these people in these sanctuary cities, these leaders, are actually probably involved in a federal conspiracy, a harboring conspiracy to keep illegal aliens in the country, because that's really their stated goal. So there's going to be criminal liability, I think, coming down the pike as well. So it's a very smart move. The next shoe is going to be the criminal liability, and the sanctuary cities are going to start to fall and get in line. They won't admit they're doing so, but they're going to change their policies and start cooperating with ICE on and this all breaks down to people in jail that they'd rather release back into the United States than have deported, which is one of the, I still can't wrap my head around how they could possibly defend this, but they, just shows the Democrats are so radical on this open borders policy, and you see it as they get crazier and crazier the more successful Donald Trump's gotten on the border.
Have you been keeping up to speed on all things Zoran Mandami? Have you been keeping up with this story? The guy that wants to be the mayor of New York, and he's a Democratic socialist? Yeah,
I've been following it pretty closely, and it's pretty amazing even for the Democratic Party, because they are a far left party right now, but this guy might even be a bridge too far for them.
So are you familiar with, before we had the breaking news, I was talking about this form N-400. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with what an N-400 is, but apparently when you're going through the naturalization process to become a naturalized citizen, they ask you on this form if you've, by and large, maybe vague here, but somehow if you've ever supported a terrorism. And it would appear that on this form, he lied and he said, no, I've never supported terrorism or terrorists. But the reality is that in 2017, he wrote a rap song and performed the rap song apparently called Salam, where he spoke about and he rapped about the Holy Land Five. Now, for people that don't know who the Holy Land Five is, they are some guys, 5 guys, who were convicted on 108 counts, including providing material support for terrorism, tax fraud, and money laundering. They were supporting Hamas. And so the Holy Land Five, in his lyrics, he rapped, "My love to the Holy Land Five, you better look them up." And he also rapped, "Free the Holy Land Five, my guys." So what some are saying, including Andy Ogles, who is a congressman here in the Middle Tennessee, is that when he wrote that and he wrapped it in 2017, well, he filled out that N400 in 2018. He didn't include the fact that he was supportive of these, Hamas worshipers that were trying to help them in their terrorism. So, I mean, do you think this guy could actually be, as some are wanting, denaturalized and deported? He's been here since the age of 7.
I think that would be unrealistic. I think it would be, interesting because it's very hard to denaturalize somebody, but I think it's interesting because all of these forms you fill out, you have to you certify under penalty of perjury or making false statements with, federal offense that you're answering these questions truthfully. So they could find that he, answered a question falsely. That could be possibly a criminal offense. If it was 2018, you're looking at statute of limitations, which would probably have expired, but there may be other things that it continued. But it is quite interesting, and it's worth looking into, again, who do we bring into this country? Who do we naturalize? How are we vetting people? Because coming into this country or to become a citizen should be a privilege. And if you hate the country and support terrorists, why would we possibly make you a citizen? But I think the bigger picture just shows, I know he's even on the extremes of the Democratic Party, but the Democratic Party is so extreme that they always put illegal aliens ahead of American citizens and never really care. Somebody with these views, the fact that he would even come near a ballot and let alone get nominated, and it looks like he might win ultimately. Yeah. And I can't even imagine what happens to New York City other than everyone with a brain will leave. So we'll just, it'll just become, East Detroit or something like that. And that's a bad thing because once these cities go in the toilet, it seems like it's pretty hard to get them back out. At least the American cities that have sort of just been devastated over the years. Oh yeah. Well, listen, they made their bed. Now they're going to have to lie in it, and we'll have to see, where these cities go. I mean, I have said on more than one occasion that there's part of me that just wants to see New York burn. And I don't mean literally, but I want to see New York just go ahead and collapse under the weight of illegal aliens and crime, because that's what this guy wants to do. And so if he wins, then New York and the people of New York, they will have to live and suffer with the consequences of their actions, which is voting for this guy or not voting at all. So, Jonathan, we are out of time, but thank you very much for joining us here on Super Talk 99.7. How can people find you on X? John for Fairfax, JONFORFAIRFAX. All right, thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Have a great 4th of July. Joan, from what I understand, 24 westbound is a horrible mess. And because we just, they were able to get this woman off the roadway. Real quick, I just have to repeat. So I have the traffic report on my computer. Do you want to know what they say on one of these reports? What? This is the exact report. So this is a police situation, right lane blocked because of what's going on. Quote, dude wanted for hitting several cars with including PO cars. But in the actual post, in the actual report, they put the guy as dude. It's not a dude, it's a woman. I know. That's why I'm very confused. Why did who is writing these reports of no one in a traffic report, you don't just say dude. Well, maybe it's Steven Tyler. Dude looks like a lady. Yeah. Dude wanted for hitting several cars, including PO cars. But just the fact that word dude is in there feels like it's some teenager writing these. So it looks fine at Briley Parkway. I mean, we'll get updated on it, but. And then there's that other. There's a crash with the right 2 lanes blocked, a little bit beforehand, and it says not sure if this is related to the chase. So if you're on 24 westbound, I'm sorry. So okay, I'm looking at it right now. 24 westbound side. They still have traffic stopped. All traffic stopped in all the lanes. Well, can I ask why? Yeah, I'm seeing. So I can't really zoom in to what they're doing, but it's all the police on the side of the road. There must be 10 cars. KGB, take the phones off hold. So, yes, somebody can tell us what's happening. Yeah, maybe somebody can tell us what in the world is going on, because this is a train wreck of a vehicle
get the vehicle out of there and let people drive.
They've got
unless it's a crime scene.
Troopers in the road right now, or at least one. He's walking back toward. Nope, they just said to go ahead. So now the traffic is moving again.
There you go. At least for now.
And there's some very angry people in the left lane who are traveling 80 miles an hour right out of the
well, yeah.
They're just so mad that they're.
My question is, did they find something in the car during the chase that caused them to maybe hold off traffic?
Maybe. Well, that's what I said. Maybe there's some sort of an
possible.
investigation.
Yeah.
So,
do you still want to hear from the drivers, or since the traffic's moving?
See what that one person called, and because I'm curious as to why it took so long to open up the roadway. All right, it is 7:55 on Nashville's Morning News. I'm all discombobulated now, Joan.
Yeah, I know.
Because I stopped in the middle of a segment to do the other thing, and then I had the interview, and so I'm going to reset and start over at the 8 o'clock hour.
But it's been exciting.
It has been exciting.
Yeah.